Hey everyone, and welcome to this visual breakdown. Today, we're unpacking a journey that touches millions of lives. And let's be real, it remains one of the most intensely challenging transformations a person can possibly undertake, breaking the habit of smoking. We're going to look at the body's actual physiological recovery, the deep psychological hurdles, and a proven blueprint for success. So, let's dive right in.
So why is leaving a habit behind so incredibly hard? It's a question we really need to approach with deep empathy right out of the gate. We're going to be looking closely at realistic examples of the everyday challenges faced by Malaysian smokers. And the truth is, the struggle is profoundly real. For anyone watching right now who's tried to quit, or maybe watched a loved one try to quit, you already know that wanting to stop and actually being able to stop are two entirely different battles. We have to start by validating that struggle. Quitting isn't just a simple overnight decision. It's a complex fight against both biology and deeply ingrained daily routines. But to truly understand why this battle is absolutely worth fighting, we first need to look at the prize.
Section 1. The Smoke-Free Vision.
Before we get into the hurdles, let's cast a vision for what actually sits on the other side. And the amazing thing is, the body's recovery begins almost immediately. First up, we see better breathing, as your body literally starts clearing out its pathways. You aren't fighting for air the same way anymore. And that directly leads to increased energy levels. Because your body isn't working overtime just to process oxygen, all that reclaimed energy floods right back into your daily life. It means you can keep up with the kids, stay sharp at work, and move through your day with that constant, heavy fatigue. Better breathing powers that increased energy, which ultimately adds precious, high-quality years to your life through a longer life expectancy.
Clinically speaking, this better breathing translates to drastically improved long-term lung function. The lungs literally begin to repair themselves, which is just incredible. Then we hit the heavy hitters, a significantly reduced risk of heart disease, stroke, and cancer. By removing those toxins, you are taking absolutely the best preventative measure possible for your long-term cardiovascular and cellular health. And hey, don't miss healthier skin. Quitting smoking restores blood flow and oxygen to your skin, bringing back a natural vitality. These aren't just dry medical statistics. They are the literal foundation for a vastly improved quality of life for both you and your family.
Section 2. Realities of the struggle.
Now, to understand why quitting is so tough, we have to look the enemy right in the eye. Nicotine addiction is a powerful dependency that causes physical withdrawal and psychological hurdles, making quitting intensely difficult. I really want to emphasize those words, physical withdrawal and psychological hurdles. It clearly shows that struggling to quit is a defined scientific reality. It is absolutely not a moral failing, and it doesn't mean you just lack willpower. This dependency actually rewires the brain. When a smoker tries to quit, their body physically revolts and their mind throws up massive psychological roadblocks. Understanding this clinical reality is absolutely crucial. It's the first step in removing that fear of failure because it reframes the struggle as a legitimate medical condition that requires a strategic, supported response.
And this creates a multi-front battle. Internally, you're fighting withdrawal symptoms, mounting stress, the fear of failure, and the massive, massive weight of long-term habits. Your brain literally associates your daily routines with smoking. But, as if that wasn't enough, you're also fighting external pressures. Things like peer influence from friends or colleagues who still smoke, and a dangerous lack of support. For Malaysian smokers facing these exact challenges, it can feel like you're completely surrounded. But by categorizing and organizing these barriers, we can stop being overwhelmed by them and actually start targeting them one by one.
Section 3. Overcoming the barriers.
Because the truth is, those formidable barriers can absolutely be dismantled. Here is an actionable blueprint to quitting. Step 1 is determination. It all starts with a resolute mindset. That internal decision that your vision for a healthier life is simply stronger than the addiction. But let's be honest, determination alone isn't always enough to get you across the finish line, which is why we move to Step 2, healthy lifestyle and exercise. Replacing that smoking habit with physical movement and healthier choices directly combats the stress and withdrawal we just talked about. And finally, Step 3, counseling and smoking cessation programs. Listen, you do not have to rely on just yourself. There are professional, structured programs and counselors ready to guide you, offering both the medical and psychological tools to neutralize those withdrawal symptoms. A clear, proven system exists to help you succeed.
But perhaps the most important factor of all is the power of support. Family backing and shared determination completely transform the quitting journey. Remember that lack of support barrier we discussed a minute ago? Well, this right here is the antidote. The journey of quitting smoking is intensely emotional,
And having the backing of your family completely changes the entire dynamic. It turns a solitary, isolating struggle into a shared victory. When a smoker's family rallies around them, cheering their successes, and just as importantly, showing grace during those really stressful days, it provides an emotional anchor that, frankly, no medical program can ever replicate.
Section 4. The long-term rewards.
So, it's time to bring all of this together and really weigh the costs against the ultimate payoff. It basically comes down to this: the journey versus the destination, a temporary struggle against a lifelong victory. Yes, the withdrawal and the stress are incredibly hard, but they are temporary. The destination? That brings major financial savings, vastly improved health, and a way better quality of life for your family. Just think about the money saved by no longer buying cigarettes. Think about the improved lung function and the extra, vibrant years added to your life. Think about being fully present and healthy for the people you love. The difficulties are just a fleeting season, but the benefits? Those are a lifelong reality. The trade-off is incredibly clear.
Ultimately, it all boils down to this: the long-term health, financial, and social benefits are far greater than the temporary difficulties faced during the quitting journey. Yes, the barriers of nicotine addiction are very real. Yes, the internal and external struggles are intense. But the blueprint exists, the support is out there, and the rewards, your health, your finances, and your family's future are infinitely more valuable. Knowing that the pain of quitting is temporary, but the joy of a healthy life is permanent, what's stopping you or someone you love from taking that absolutely crucial first step toward a smoke-free life today? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll see you next time.